Hey guys, it's Dustin, and now that the Sapphire Preferred and the Sapphire Reserve have been updated and refreshed, some of you might be wondering which Sapphire card is the better option, and if you had to choose one of these options, which one would you go with? And up until this refresh, the Sapphire Reserve was hands down the better of these two cards. But with the Sapphire Preferred's update, is that still the case? And I'm not so sure anymore, so let's dig in and find out. Now, both of these cards are subjected to the 524 rule, and there is that one Sapphire rule as well, where you can only have one of these cards at a time. And on top of that, you can only get one bonus on a Sapphire product every 48 months. Now, there is the modified double dip, where you can actually get both of these cards if you apply in a specific way. Most people, though, are not going to do this, but if you want, leave me a comment if you'd like me to do a video on that topic. Then you're also able to product change between these two cards after your first year of holding one of these cards. Now, the bonus on the Sapphire cards have fluctuated over the last year or so, and at the time of this recording, the bonus on the Sapphire Preferred is 100,000 points after spending $4,000 in the first 90 days. As for the Sapphire Reserve, it's currently offering a 60,000 point bonus after spending $4,000 in the first 90 days. And hands down, the Sapphire Preferred's bonus is the superior offer at this time. It just straight up destroys the Sapphire Reserve here. I mean, even if you decided to cash out your points, you would receive $400 more with the Sapphire Preferred's bonus. If you were using the travel portal, you would get $350 more with the Sapphire Preferred. And since the transfer partner ratios are the same, you would still get more mileage from your points with the Sapphire Preferred. Now, if you're enjoying this video, then give this video a like. It really helps the channel out. And if you're one of the 70% of people who watch the channel and aren't subscribed, why not hit that subscribe button as well? Then when it comes to the earning rates of these two cards, there is some overlap, but there's also some differences that could set one of these cards apart. The Sapphire Preferred earns 5x on all travels through the Chase travel portal, 3x on dining, 3x on streaming services, and 3x for online grocery store purchases. Now, the terms do mention that Target, Walmart, and wholesale clubs are excluded from that 3x online grocery multiplier. But we've seen this mentioned before on other cards, and we've seen people get credit for grocery store purchases at those stores, even though they are potentially excluded. It's really just going to depend on your local store and how that store codes, so you can always do a test transaction to see if you get credit for groceries or not at that store. Then you're still going to earn 2x on all travel purchases and then 1 point per dollar everywhere else. As for the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you are going to earn 10x on Chase Dining, which are restaurants that you can book through the Chase travel portal. You're going to earn 10x for hotel stays and car rental purchases through the Chase travel portal. Then you'll also get 5x on airfare booked through the Chase travel portal. Then you'll also earn 3x on all travel and all dining purchases. Now, for the travel portal purchases, the Chase Sapphire Reserve is the better option, with maybe one exception, because you're going to earn 10x on hotels and car rental purchases, while you're only going to earn 5x on the Chase Sapphire Preferred for those purchases. The airfare on the Chase Sapphire Reserve at 5x matches what you're going to get with the Chase Sapphire Preferred 5x, so that's a wash there. Then the exception, though, for the Chase travel portal might be for cruises, because the Chase Sapphire Preferred would earn 5x for cruises, while it seems the Chase Sapphire Reserve would still only be earning 3x. But beyond those portal earnings, the Sapphire Preferred, I think, actually has a slight edge when it comes to the multipliers. Because for dining, they're the exact same at 3x, which I really think hurts the value of the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Because not only does the Sapphire Preferred earn triple points, so does the Freedom Flex and the Freedom Unlimited. The Sapphire Preferred does have that online grocery earning multiplier, and while that might be limiting, it's still an additional category you do not get on the Sapphire Reserve, and then you also get triple points for streaming purchases. Then the Chase Sapphire Reserve only earns 1x more on those travel purchases, so this really isn't a huge difference here. So for the earning rates or for the multipliers on these cards, I do lean more towards the Sapphire Preferred over the Reserve here. And the gap closes even more for the earnings when we get to some of the benefits on these cards. Then when it comes to the annual fees on both of these cards, the Sapphire Preferred is $95 a year, Well, the Sapphire Reserve is $550 a year, plus it's going to cost you $75 per authorized user on the Reserve, whereas with the Sapphire Preferred, there is no cost to add an authorized user. Now, they each have some benefits that will help reduce the effective annual fee, but the Sapphire Preferred wins here when it comes to the annual fee. I don't think it's really a question. It's just a fraction of the upfront cost. Then both of these cards do have no foreign transaction fees, so there's no difference there as well. Then for the redemption options, there's only a small difference between these two cards because they have access to the same transfer partners at the same 1-to-1 ratio. Now, I have done a few videos on the basics of their transfer partners, so be sure to check that out. I'm not going to go into all that detail and information here, but the takeaway is that there is no difference on these two cards when it comes to partner options. Then they have the same cash out rate at 1 cent per point if you're someone just looking to cash out your points. So it really doesn't make a difference there. But where they do differ is the value that you get when you book through the Chase travel portal or you're using the pay yourself back benefit. And with the Sapphire Preferred, you can redeem your points at 1.25 cents per point, and with the Reserve, you can redeem your points at 1.5 cents per point. So you do get a slightly better redemption value with the Sapphire Reserve if you're someone who is looking to use the travel portal or likes to use the pay yourself back benefit. Because if you were to book a $500 flight, it would cost you 33,333 points with the Reserve or 40,000 points with the Sapphire Preferred. And I really do think that 1.5 cent per point redemption value is a big reason why people keep the Sapphire Reserve. If Chase were to devalue that, I think Chase would see a number of cardholders drop this card. So for redemptions, while they have so much overlap, the Sapphire Reserve does have a slight advantage due to the extra 0.25 cent per point redemption value. But redeeming at 1.5 cents per point instead of 1.25 cents per point may not be as big of a gap or a deal anymore, especially if you're spending money on these cards. Because the Chase Sapphire Preferred now has that 10% anniversary bonus based on how much you spent on your card in a card member year. So if you were to spend $20,000 on your Chase Sapphire Preferred, you would get 2,000 ultimate reward points, and you do not get this benefit on the Sapphire Reserve. So those earning rates on the Sapphire Preferred really get a slight boost to 5.1x, 3.1x, 2.1x, and 1.1x. And because of that, this does slightly adjust the value that you're going to receive, especially if you use the travel portal or the pay yourself back benefit. So while that upfront redemption value is still the same at 1.25 cents per point, the effective redemption value after you account for that 10% anniversary bonus does make it go up. And this would increase your 1.25 cent per point value to about 1.38 cents per point in value, which means this is really only about a 0.12 cent per point difference in redemption value, which is only about an 8% difference in value, so this is very, very slim. Now this difference is only for spending on the Sapphire Preferred. The points transferred from other Chase cards would still be redeemed at 1.25 cents per point. Then as far as the other benefits on these cards, the Sapphire Preferred does receive that $50 hotel credit, which renews every card member year. And this credit will reduce your effective annual fee on this card. Now, you're not going to get your status benefits if you book through the travel portals, but this could reduce your effective annual fee to as low as $45, which is actually pretty cheap. You're also going to get a 12-month Dash Pass subscription as long as you activate that benefit by the end of 2021, and you'll also get up to $60 in Peloton credits for one of their memberships. Then you also get 5x on Lyft rides until March of 2022. And while the Sapphire Reserve doesn't have a specific hotel credit, it does have that $300 travel credit, which you can also use for gas and grocery purchases until the end of 2021, making your effective annual fee $250 for the Sapphire Reserve. And the Sapphire Reserve has other benefits like Priority Pass lounge access and a TSA PreChecker global entry credit. You also earn 10x on Lyft rides until the end of March of 2022. You get a Lyft Pink membership for 1 year, but you do need to activate this by March 31st of 2022. you'll get up to $120 in Peloton credits for one of their membership levels. Then you also get a Dash Pass subscription as well as $60 in DoorDash credits. Now, the extra temporary benefits both the Preferred and the Reserve have, the value that you'll receive from those extra temporary benefits are going to depend on if you use them to begin with, if you were someone already using these previously before the credits, or if you're only using them because you have the credits. Then as far as travel protections are concerned, it's not as big of a gap as you may think it is. The Sapphire Reserve does have better trip delay coverage, which starts after 6 hours of being delayed or requiring an overnight stay, while the Sapphire Preferred's coverage kicks in after 12 hours or requiring an overnight stay. But both of these cover you for up to $500 per ticket. You do get up to $100,000 in emergency evacuation coverage with the Sapphire Reserve. You do not get that with the Preferred. The trip cancellation coverage is the same for both of these cards. Then for auto rental coverage, both cards offer primary auto rental coverage. Now, I've dug through the fine print on this, and the differences look to be very small between these cards. The Sapphire Preferred will cover you up to the cash cost of most vehicles. The Sapphire Reserve mentions getting up to $75,000 in coverage, but when I really try to find the differences, really the only thing I see different is the Sapphire Reserve will cover you for some exotic cars, while the Sapphire Preferred, there are only certain higher value cars that will be covered. So really, I think for the average traveler, these are pretty equivalent and it's going to be negligible differences. Now, as far as the benefits are concerned, both of these cards have solid travel protections and they even have some overlap. But the Sapphire Reserve does get the slight edge here due to its lounge benefits and slightly better travel protections with that 6-hour trip delay coverage and that $100,000 evacuation coverage. But the gap isn't huge here between these protections. The temporary benefits are nice to see, but who knows if those benefits will be renewed, if others will be coming in their place, or if Chase is just going to let these right off into the sunset. But while the Sapphire Reserve may have slightly better travel protections, which I think are an important benefit on a travel card, I believe for many people, the travel protections on the Preferred are good enough and provide adequate coverage. So with all of that in mind, which card should you go with? Now, I have hammered on Chase, just hammered on them about the Preferred. It's been outdated, stale, frankly it sucked and it wasn't worth much beyond the bonus. And depending on your rotation, it might still be all of those things. But we aren't comparing it to other cards in this video, we're only looking at it against the Reserve. And while I think the update was far from perfect and there were things I would have liked to seen Chase do with the Preferred, I think Chase did enough with it to where the Sapphire Reserve is no longer a clear-cut winner. They improved the Sapphire Preferred just enough to where I think it will draw people who are in the Chase ecosystem away from the Sapphire Reserve. You get a better bonus, better earning rates, comparable travel benefits at a much lower annual fee price point. And really, the only big thing you get on the Reserve that you don't get on the Preferred is lounge access. And for the travel portal or the pay yourself back redemption values, if we use our effective annual fee from earlier, the difference in annual fee cost is $205 per year. And if you use 1.25 and 1.5 cents per point for redemption values, that means you would need to redeem 82,000 points per year to break even on that annual fee difference. And that amount you would need to redeem increases even more when you account for that 10% anniversary bonus for the spending that you would put on the Sapphire Preferred. And if you don't earn or redeem that many Chase points in a year, then you're possibly overpaying for the Sapphire Reserve at that point. So really, in looking at all of this, if you were someone stuck between these two cards, I would actually go with the Preferred over the Reserve, which is something I didn't think I would ever say. So let me know, which of these two cards would you choose? Now, if you're someone who wants to know the best ways to redeem your Chase Ultimate Reward points, then be sure to check out this video right here where I tell you everything you need to know. If you know someone who would find this video useful and helpful, feel free to share it with them, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.